So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land.
Come, let us work hand in hand, because this is our land. Grenada belongs to all of us, and we must work diligently to ensure that we live here better than we met it. We want Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique to be a better place for our children and the children. I want to welcome you to the hub. I want to say to you that the hub is the nightly program where we engage in a meaningful way, where we converse using radio and social media. And it's really a place to learn. It's the hub. It's the open university. It's a space of learning, a space of growth, a space of motivation, a space of enlightenment wherever you are. So I want to encourage you to share the live, those on Facebook, those on YouTube. If you are listening via radio, let your neighbor, let your friend know that the hub is on. I want to start off tonight again by congratulating the Honorable Delma Thomas for making such a bold move and taking a stand for what is right, because she believes in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. She's not interested in divisive politics and, polarized politics and bacchanal politics. She's interested in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique, bringing benefits to the people of her constituency. So, with what was taking place within the NNP, and the NNP is mashing up, the NNP is a mess, it's a wreck, real problems happening within the NNP. It's unhealthy for anybody to be a part of this organization right now, in my belief. She resigned from the party, the New National Party. She's still a member of parliament, elected member of parliament. So don't get that confused. She's still an elected member of parliament. She only resigned from the party, right? The NNP, the party itself, not as a member of parliament. So we wish her all the best, and I am certain in the coming weeks and months, you'll hear more from her and about her and her future, because I believe she can be a very good minister, again, to bring benefits to all people. And that is what politics entails, making that right move. It has to be a chessboard move. And in my view, I think that is what happened, and kudos to her. It will, spell the demise of the NNP, the real mashup of the NNP. And she's not the only person who will resign and who will leave the NNP. You can expect another 2 senior people of the NNP to leave, because there is real chaos, real problems within the NNP. And I can tell you, we will welcome you with open arms. You have a place that you can come and feel welcome and feel a part of a team to move Grenada forward, to develop Grenada, Carriacou, and the PT Martinique. We're going to talk about that and more coming to the latter part of the program, coming to the end of the program for tonight. But I was telling you that I think the Government Information Service, GIS, need to do more to showcase the other ministers and what they are doing, right? And I was really happy that GBN featured the Honorable David Andrew, the Minister of Education, as he spoke to some of the good things that the parents and students can expect come September 2023. That's not long from now. But he spoke about some of the achievements within his ministry. And I think it's important because, remember, the NDC is prioritizing health, education, agriculture, the creative industry. They're not forgetting tourism and so on. But these areas are priority. All right? So again, I decided to go back, check the Senate sitting or the sitting of the Senate, and extract from the Honorable David Andrew presentation what GBN brought, right? Maybe a little more. I will feature just a little more, but it's important that you hear from him. So let me at this point feature the Honorable David Andrew, because I really believe that most of, or nearly all of the members of parliament, they are working extremely hard. Nearly all of them, extremely, extremely hard. And some people will say not nearly, but all of them. But they are not being featured the way they're supposed to be featured in the news and on GIS, the Government Information Service, their Facebook page, their YouTube channel, and GIS television. I realize that there's a trend now where it's a week in review. So they are not doing any stories and posting it up and publishing it so we can, get a glimpse or a view before the weekend in review. And to me, that is not smart. That's not a smart thing. You need to do little stories about what the ministers of government doing, what government is doing generally, and you post that up, and then you do the week in review with all the different stories put together. Nothing is wrong with that. But all during the week, you need to start featuring the ministers some more and what they are doing, the different ministers, not just 2 or 3 of them, but all of them. So let me feature David Andrew, the Minister of Education.
PT Martinique, 3 schools, 3 primary schools are taking the CPEA exams completely electronically. It's a declaration of intent as to where we are heading. We talk technology, we talk digitization, we talk transformation, but this administration is not prepared just to talk. We are prepared to do the walk as well. And so 3 primary schools are off in that direction. We tried not to make much noise about it, Madam President, because we didn't want to attract too much media attention before they finish the exam in the next hour and some. We didn't want the media making them a little more nervous than they needed to be made with all the cameras getting there. How was your first day with e-testing? So there's 1 school in Carriacou and 2 on the mainland. They were piloted, let me assure you. There was a pre-test prior, and then there was serious layers of consultation with parents, the education community, teachers, the students themselves. And there were about 5 schools that initially did the pre-test. And after the consultations, a couple of those schools felt they were not quite ready yet. There were some pockets of objection. We said, all right, well, go right ahead and do it in the traditional way. But those students, their teachers, their parents, the school community felt comfortable that they were able to go the exam and do it electronically. And so we celebrate with them. And this Ministry of Education looks forward to further roll out next year, God's willing, for electronic testing. Let me say to you, we do have electronic testing that started since 2017 at the secondary level for the paper ones, the multiple choice, in several of the areas, but never before has it been done for the primary schools. And so this is very, very historic, and I want to commend my staff at the Ministry of Education, the examinations department. They work tirelessly. During this period, they get no rest till CSEC examination is done. They are down at the ministry probably well before 5 a.m. in the morning to deliver the scripts, and they're there till late in the afternoon to make sure every bit comes back in. And so I want to put on record my profound thanks and appreciation to them while we have created such an historic moment for education in Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. Madam President, I want to talk about another significant transformative occurrence. At the cabinet level, we have passed two very important documents. The TVET strategy, National TVET Policy rather, and the TVET strategy, which is a mapping for how we are going to implement skills across Grenada. Now, this was done after serious, the TVET strategy, the TVET policy, was a document that was funded by UNESCO, World Bank, and long been prepared after several rounds of consultation, Madam President, with key stakeholders, the National Training Agency, GNAB, Workers' Federation, several other agencies, TAMCC, NULO. They identified the gaps in our skills operation with a view to addressing those gaps and to making skills education more sustainable and applicable to our needs. And so the second document is our rendering of a strategy, a mapping to implement and to fill those gaps and implement skills across the nation, both for students in school and for persons outside of school. And so a comprehensive 30-something page document was presented to the Cabinet, which has received preliminary approval for implementation across Grenada. And it includes several key transforming elements, one of which is the reintroduction of skills in all primary schools. Madam President, I am happy to announce that, next Tuesday, God's willing, should I be spared, 9th of May, we will see the official launch of the reintroduction of skills at the level of sensitization in all our primary schools across Grenada, Carriacou, and Petite Martinique. We have had the consultations with all of the schools, the teachers, the persons in the technical areas, and we are quite happy to have it reintroduced. Now, there were some elements of it happening, but not all schools were involved, only some elements. And so we are very happy to have it reintroduced that way, and we look forward to, and that's just part of it. That skills mapping has several other elements that will be implemented incrementally over the next several years. So in that plan, I can tell you, there are plans to upgrade some of our secondary schools that have strong grounding in skills, to upgrade them to be school-based centers of excellence in particular areas. So there might be 6 or so of those schools earmarked for that. There are plans to use some of these centers of excellence, and we have some structures already existing, some not being fully utilized or exploited, and so we are going to use those. Some community centers, one example is the National Training Institute in, I'm not sure I can say the right word, in Snell Hall, which the former administration had going. But even that institution, we are aware a lot more can be done, and we are prepared to upgrade several of those institutions to make them indeed centers of excellence for various elements of skill. That's part of the plan. And to continue sixth form in some schools, the centers of excellence, and to use them both for persons in school and out of school. And there are several other things. But most importantly, on Tuesday 9th, we are going to launch that reintroduction in primary school. So I pass on that one. I can also say to you that part of that TVET strategy seeks to make investment in our tertiary level institutions, NULO, TAMCC, to increase the capacity to house students, because we are putting things in place to do two things. One, to legislate that education be made mandatory till age 18. Madam President, this is also going to be transformative. When I walk through the communities, we meet several youngsters, 16, 17, 18, 19, and they say to you, I want to work. And my next question, what's your skill set? What's your area of skill? What's your area of expertise? And 9 out of 10 times they tell me, well, anything. I could do anything. And I say to them, that's my problem. Because when my car breaks down, I don't want somebody who can do anything. I need an auto mechanic. I said, when I have an electrical problem at my house, I don't want somebody who can do anything. I need an electrician. And when there's a broken main in the walls that see water running through my home or somewhere, I don't need somebody who can do anything. I need a plumber. And so we are determined to close that gap by providing an additional 2 years of opportunity for young persons to get skilled. Rather than leaving school at 16, 15, turning 16, 16, and going on the breadline and saying, I want to work, and creating further problem for programs like the Imani program, we are going to give them these additional 2 years, mandatorily. That's currently being looked into, to give them that opportunity to get further skill to address many of the skills gaps. That's in the skills strategy that we have too. And to make that easier, we are already doing the preparatory work to make sure that TAMCC tuition fees are no longer something that our students and their parents will have to find come September 2022. Give some table number for that. 2023, yeah. So while we're going to mandate it, we are going to say it becomes easier for you to access it. SDG 4, ready access, free access to education. And we want to make sure that happens. So my staff, they're working currently to do all the behind-the-scene numerical figures and calculations with TAMCC, setting up a framework to ensure that who registers and who duly gets into coming out of secondary school, that we have a mechanism to do the transfer of payments and all of that. I'm excited, Madam President, of the transformation that these transforming things are going to have on our education system. We are not just talking the talk, we are walking it through. Madam President, I want to give you a quick update. We've talked a bit about the introduction of history and teaching of civics in our school system. I want to report to this House that the material is being published and being prepared. We have gotten, I believe, the clearance to hire an additional history curriculum officer, because we have one officer now serving both geography and history. But because of the emphasis we want to put specifically on history, we've gotten that clearance to specifically focus on that. So the material will be ready. There are training seminars planned for the Summer Institute that we're going to have in July during the break, to prepare our teachers to use the material. The history curriculum is being refined even as we speak. And so I'm excited too that that will become a reality, other things being equal, in September 2023. Teaching of history in our primary schools, upper primary, lower secondary. As you may recognize, Madam President, I move quickly on. Recently, a couple of weeks ago, on April 24th, we did a visit to our National Library. And that signaled our commencement of consultations for the restoration, refurbishment of the National Library. So at the moment, it's in the hands of the engineers and the Ministry of Infrastructure. They are doing the assessments, and they will advise us. So that will inform the consultation, what is possible, what isn't possible. But we are confident we are going to get through with what's been budgeted for, the development of the conceptual designs in this budget cycle. And the fact that we had that visit declares our intent to deliver on our commitment to so do within this period. Madam President, the last thing I'll probably talk about. In very short order, you will hear quite a bit of buzz about additional opportunities for study abroad. Now, Indeed, there are just so many things happening in education, we can't get to feature everything at the same time. But come next month, we have started engaging one Dr. Randy Glean, a Grenadian by association, a Grenadian by family, by descent, by all of these good ways. And he is a professor associated with Illinois University. And he is interested in giving back. So he has been in contact with us, and he is organizing a visit of several of his high-powered university team members, some of them presidents and all of that, to visit Grenada in June 2023 to scout and to share all the opportunities and to discuss potential collaborations with about 6 or 7 universities in the United States and Canada with whom we can have collaborations to deliver various areas of study and programs. And I'm very excited about the possibilities and the potential that exists there. And we are certainly going to engage meaningfully to see all of the possible benefits that young persons can get from these kind of collaborations as we aim to continue putting education right up front and out front in our transformation agenda.
Right. So you heard it there from the Honorable David Andrew. And I am so happy that I can bring this to you because you see, let me just adjust this here. All right, let me just adjust this here. Yeah, it's amazing because I have been talking about the need to have full coverage for all the ministers. Look at the amount of things that are actually happening in the Ministry of Education. Look at some of the things that the Honorable David Andrew have been able to achieve with his team. We are not hearing a lot of that on GIS or on social media or in the mainstream media. What needs to happen, the PRO in that ministry and GIS need to work together to produce news items, to do short videos highlighting some of the many things that are happening in that ministry with the Honorable David Andrew. So some people thought I wasn't aware of what I was actually bringing across when I said there is a need to feature more of, let me just sort that person out here. You know, some people would use under my feed to do their promotions and stuff. I don't like that. All right? I don't like that at all. If you want to do that, you have to ask me. All right, so I was saying I knew what I was talking about because I get the feedback from people as I navigate, as I travel throughout the country. They're not seeing that one, they're not hearing that one, they're not seeing that one, they're not hearing that one, and that kind of stuff. It's not, and in many instances, it's not intentional. It just could be, you know, a lapse in getting certain things accomplished from the technocrat end, from the PRO, and from the folks within GIS. But there is a need for direction to guide them and say, look, we want you to feature this, that, and the other in the news, or make a story from free tertiary education. Excuse me. TAMCC. Parents not being asked to pay to get their students or their children, their children in TAMCC. That's a big thing because remember, the NDC introduced free pre-primary, primary, and secondary school education where the parents didn't have to pay. to register them, to get them in, the fees to get them in the school, right? Because on a normal day, they would have to find that money to pay. And the NDC administration stated that they would make TAMCC also free. So there will be things that people would have to pay for, but registration and entry to get into the college, you don't have to hurt your head about that, because you're going to get in if you have money or even if you don't have money. These are two big things. And it needs to be highlighted. This is a major achievement. Sometimes I forget to mention this as an achievement of the NDC. Pre-primary, primary and secondary school, education free. You don't have to pay this and pay that, and because before you had to find the money to pay registration. It's a couple of them things, right? Orientation, a whole pile of thing. You got to pay for this, pay for that to get in. And maybe what we can do is to get, what GIS and what the PRO in education can do is highlight the fees that parents used to pay. Let me help you create that story, because I understand mass communication. Highlight the fees, right? That's important. Pre-primary, primary, secondary. So what they used to pay and the savings, what they are now saving, because that money, they no longer have to pay it, because the NDC made it free. Free secondary, free pre-primary, free primary education. Then, now that they're going to do TAMCC, right? You should also list what they will be saving. What are some of the fees they will not be required to pay? And what are some of the savings? That is important, because people need to get the blow by blow or the dollars and cents to appreciate it. So the public relation officer in the Ministry of Education should undertake such a news item or news piece. And it doesn't have to be long, 2 minutes. And it's featured on GIS Facebook page. Ensure that it's featured on GIS YouTube channel. Ensure that it's featured on the TV, GIS TV, and maybe send it to the other media houses. That's big. The reintroduction or the reintroducing of history in schools, that's a big thing. Reintroducing history in the schools, that's a big thing. That for itself should be a news story, a news item. The whole technical training, 2 years of technical training. And in some instances, he indicated that they start in primary school, secondary school. So we'll be doing the skills aspect of it. Before you're in primary school, you have they used to call it the housecraft. Is it the housecraft? And handicraft? I think that is what they used to call it. So you go to the kitchen and they teach you how to cook, how to bake, right? And you would go to the handicraft and learn how to make furniture, how to do little things like that, right? Fix chairs, and so you can get a nice feel of carpentry, of that kind of thing, dealing with electronics and masonry and plumbing and the basic things. If you want to be a joiner, you could learn that at that level. Before, that is what it used to be. in schools. And then you go to the different institutions, NULO and wherever you want to go. So they're bringing back that, and government is investing more in places like NULO and so on, where you can learn a skill. So the student who is academically inclined, science and so on, chemistry, biology, physics, and math, and just name it, they can go into that direction. But the students who want to learn, let's say, plumbing, can go and learn plumbing and become a plumber. The student who wants to become an electrician can go in that area, or a mason, or a carpenter, or a joiner, or architect, right? When I think they have drafting, that kind of thing, right? Technical drawing, that kind of thing. So you can go into that area. So if you want to become an agronomist, agriculture and stuff, you can pivot to that area. If you want to learn to sew, you can go into that area. I am simply saying, folks, it is important that we see that coming back. And the NDC is bringing that back. They want it back in the system, in the schools. When you leave secondary school, you can go into some institute and learn those skills, which is great. Wonderful. So it's good. It's good that the NDC is prioritizing education, and not just the book thing, not just math and biology and chemistry and physics and so on, but the technical and vocational areas. We want our students to learn a skill. You're at home and the pipe bursts, for example. You have to hire a plumber to come and do it. But if you have the skills, you can actually repair your pipe. You have some electrical issue. If you know you have a little of the whole electronic engineering, or whatever they call it, you understand the basics, you could do your little thing, right? But if it reached to a stage where you can't handle, then you call in a electrician or a plumber. But I am saying the NDC is on the right path, but we need to see more of the public relation officers in the different ministries doing the work. Feature. And those ministers need to make sure that happens. That they are featured, and you need to know what can give you political mileage, what can give you some points. That's politics. So the minute time I watched the news and I heard that, I went to look for it, because I know that's a big thing. This is big, right? The whole idea that parents don't have to find that extra money to get their child to TAMCC. That's big. Let's talk about the savings. Let's talk about what they had to pay, right? Because I know it's September, it will happen in September, but the minister spoke about it kind of now, because, school will be going on vacation soon. May, June, July, and they're home, right? In fact, June, and you're home, because July, August, 2 months vacation. So either the early part of July, maybe the first week in July, they're home or so, or the last week in June, one of the two. That's not important. But I am saying to you, this is a big thing. So I'm urging the PROs in the ministries to please do your work. But the ministers must make sure, the PSAs must make sure that they do their work. And that is why I commended the public relation officer in the Ministry of Carriacou and PT Martinique Affairs, and the public relation officer with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries, and so on. They do an excellent job. These two public relations officers, two of them. I don't know who they are. I think Carriacou is Deanna Isaac. I think so. All right. I don't know the one for agriculture, but that one is doing an excellent job too. But it's clear there is a need for more PR from a party standpoint and from the government, because we are seeing one set of ministers highlighted, showcased, featured over and over and over again. It's like GBN. Anytime you look at GBN, you expect to see Jerry Edwin, the lawyer, this lawyer guy, this Rara, this big mouth lawyer. What's his name? Jerry Edwin. Sometimes he speaks so much rubbish, I flush my toilet. But you expect to see him because it's like that's the only thing GBN could get to talk. Or maybe he's the only public defender. Maybe he's the only person taking these state cases, because, once it's a summary or indictable matter, then you have to get a lawyer and so on. So maybe he's the only person accepting. I don't know. But I'm saying we need the PR within the party and within the government to start showcasing the ministers, the other ministers, some more. We need to see more of Lennox Andrews being featured on GIS and within the media. We need to see more of Kieran James featured, right? More of Gloria Thomas featured, more of Dennis Cornwall featured. Yes, he's in the Ministry of Finance, but a lot of things are happening within his constituency, and he needs to be featured. We need to see more of Joseph Andel featured, and so on and so forth. We need to see that done, because politics is perception. You could say what you want. Only recently, two young people or two young persons were actually asking, but how I ain't seeing this minister? How I ain't seeing that minister? Well, it seems as though that minister not doing anything. And then they highlight, well, how I seeing that minister and this minister? And for me, I'm listening, but I'm taking note, because here you have young people who will go back to the polls come, hopefully, next election, right? And you want that to happen. Good? So when you hear them speak, you have to listen. If you don't listen and make amends, then something is wrong with you. I am saying, in a very simple, casual conversation, two young persons actually noticed the absence of a number of ministers being featured on GIS or in the news or on social media, for that matter. And that is not good, if you ask me. It's dangerous. We need to see more of them featured. So I thought I should highlight David Andrew tonight, because I think he's doing an excellent job in that ministry. I also think there is a need to call on the PROs, right? So public relation officer in that particular ministry and the other ministries to do what they must do to ensure that all of them are featured, because politics is perception. I gave you a very simple situation where two young persons actually noticed the absence. We need full coverage. It needs to be balanced, because what would happen between now and the election, for example, a lot of people will say, well, I ain't see you. What you do, what you were doing for the last how many years, even if they were actually doing stuff. Because it could be that they, out there doing a lot of stuff. In fact, I've seen evidence of that. But who's covering it? Who's showcasing it? Come on. And I am speaking about all of this because I want there to be some swift action where that is concerned. When I speak on this program, it's not because I hate or I dislike or upset. No. I speak on the program with the hope that they will listen and make the necessary changes, adjustments, and so on and so forth. Because I normally see most of the ministers when they tune into the program. You may not see them from your end, but when they tune in, I see them pop up on my live. I would see them from here. So they are listening. I know they are listening. But, or maybe they're hearing, so I shouldn't say listening, maybe I should say hearing. They're hearing. And we hope that they would listen. We hope that they would listen. I give you another situation. There is this foundation, right, that my good friend and a number of other people, good Grenadians out there in the diaspora and here put together. So they have a foundation. And the whole idea is to give back to Grenada. The name of the foundation, and I hope I pronounce it right, I think is Ava Hope Foundation Inc. AHF. They invited the media because they had some, medical supplies and other things to distribute, to give out, to give to the government of Grenada for hospitals and so on. So they invited the media. They send them, they say, look, I want you to come to cover this today. So Dr. Natasha Bola and my good friend Shoma Maguire. So my good friend Dr. Natasha Bola and my good friend Shoma Maguire, both of them with some other people, they are part of this thing, this foundation. So today, they expected at least one or two of the media houses to cover the event, or at least GIS, because, GIS is the Government Information Service. So you expect them to cover it. So, they organize everything, and they say, well, boy, it look as though they would come. But they did not. The outfits did not show up. So it's a non-profit organization with its headquarters located in Brooklyn, New York, founded by Dr. Natasha Bola and others, and is committed to meeting the needs of the Grenadian people, both educational and charitably, right? So what they did today was they handed over medical supplies to the General and Princess Royal Hospital through the Ministry of Health. The main items donated are over 1,000 disposable diapers, disposable panties and gloves, over 5,000 thermometer covers, over 1,000 bed liners, sanitizers, one wheelchair, and one walker, diabetic supplement drinks, let me get it here, feeding tubes, among other things. So they distributed that, they hand over that to the ministry today. So they invited the media, and at least GIS should have been there. They invited them. They sent them emails and so on. But amazingly, they don't show up. They don't, because it's not sensational, it's not dramatic, right? it's
You can come in too.
it's amazing, huh?
Yeah, we got like in home. You can come in too. Come in. Yeah, we got like in home.
Right? So that there was the video, a little video showcasing what was handed over and so on today. But it's rather sad because if it's something dramatic and sensational, they would run and cover. But something like that, that's a good thing. And I know the people behind this foundation personally, right? They are genuine friends of Grenada. Yes, they're based in the United States of America, but they are genuine friends of Grenada and they just want to give back. And that's just a start. That's just a start. And they will be given more and more to Grenada. But that is what the media normally do. They would select what they cover, and at least GIS, the Government Information Service, should have been there just to cover it so that the people can see. Because remember, when people give and support, some people would like to see what their stuff is being used for, who they're handing it over to. So it can help Grenada in the medium to long term to get more. But that's how they do it here in Grenada. That's how. Something sensational, but there is a serious problem with GIS, if you ask me. I believe there is a need for a total overhaul of GIS, and it must be staffed with people who, yes, you have some good employees and so on there. Look, I applaud when I see them, Rikisha, and there's another young lady. Two of them, they read really, really good. They read the news really, really good. Right? Rikisha and another young lady. I met her only recently. I mean, they do an excellent job. The other people behind the scenes, they do an excellent job, cameramen and so on. But I'm saying that more must be done to feature the ministers and feature what government is doing, because there are people who are waiting to consume that kind of stuff. And when you do a short video, it goes a long way. Yes, you want to take a photo or two, that's cool, but let's hear you explaining what took place and some of the gains and benefits and achievements and so on. We want to see that. All right? We really want to see that. I want to urge you to do some more. Improve better what you do, because people are noticing it and people are following it. Grenadians want this government to succeed. And when things are not going the way it's supposed to, people are going to call it out. People going to call it out. So please improve better what you do. You have public relations officers on nearly all the ministries. Come on, we need to see more work being done. But again, I don't know who is in charge, of that particular department and so on, or GIS. I don't know who's in charge. I don't know, folks, and I don't need to know. All I'm saying is that we observe weaknesses there, and there's a need to improve, and that must be done quickly. Must be done quickly. Right, folks, I know the St. Patrick East and West Constituency Branch, they're having their annual Ramona Cruise, Saturday the 10th of June. That's a little while from now. The 10th of June, starting from, I think boarding time is what, 7? Let me see. Yeah, 7:30 p.m. Ramona 2, ticket $65, free barbecue, and a solid buy. You have to buy your drinks. Drinks not free, but the barbecue is free. You can call my good partner, Mitch. If you want a ticket, that's Mitch, good partner Mitch, up there, Bathway. He will get that ticket to you. 534-0856. 534-0856. All right? Give him a buzz 534-0856. All right? Nice. And I know my good friend Benedict Peters there, my good buddy. All right? He was my manager at once, but he's working extremely hard in St. David in that constituency. And he sent me something this morning. Where is it? I'm looking for it. Ben, if you there, you can send me back that thing. It seems as though it disappeared. I know he spoke or he sent me something relating to the 50th anniversary of independence, right? And what they're doing in St. David, they're having a meeting coming up, right? So they want you to be a part of it and so on. They're organizing and planning for the 50th independence celebration. So Ben, that's Benedict Peters, you could send me that info and I will promote it for you. All right? I will do just that. So folks, we are almost out of time. I want to thank all those who continue to share the program, who continue to tell others about it. This program is all about you being able to bring the information to you so you will not be fooled by the others. I went in St. George's today and a friend said, Kem Jones, boy, keep doing what you're doing, Say, boy, the amount of propaganda and the amount of misinformation that's coming from the other programs because they hate the government. They're trying to undermine the government. They're trying to sabotage the government. He started to explain to me, in his view, what he thinks is happening. So you have to keep doing what we are doing, educating, empowering, enlightening, providing information to you, sharing the good news of what's happening with the government and promoting the NDC and promoting the government. So folks, I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful night. I will be back with you tomorrow, God's willing, starting from 8 in the a.m. We have a lot to talk about. There's so many things happening, but we need to have it highlighted, showcased. That's important. Yes, and 9 years being on air, that would be next week, Monday the 15th. That would mark 9 years of me being on air doing this program, 9 years. And I hope to have a little drink up, a little cook up and so on, but that depends on if people give. One or two people give a little already, not anything significant, but I really appreciate it. But if we get from others some assistance in and between, we can get some drinks, we can, buy some meat, and a good friend gave me a small pig, a little small pig, good friend, a small pig there, good friend. We're gonna use that up, and then I might get a little goat, some little meat and so on. But you have a lot of people talking, talk. But when it comes to giving, when it comes to making sure the thing becomes a reality, they back off. The usual people who give to the program, who give to the operation, they're the ones who give many a times. A lot of people, thousands of people listening. When it comes to giving genuinely towards something, it's always, But at the end of the day, I believe that everything will be a-okay Monday. Gonna have some food to eat, a little music, a little drink up right here. We don't need to have a lot of people, but whoever comes by, we'll get something and chill. 9 years, nothing grand. For the 10th year, right? The 10 year, that's the 10th year, 10-year anniversary. I'll do 10 major events from after the 9th. So this is from the 16th of May until the 15th of May 2024. That we're going to do some events to really mark the 10-year anniversary. So folks, take good care. Have a wonderful night. Peace and love. Take good care and bye for now. Bye for now. Bye for now.